Good day, mate.
We've gone to the land down under, filled with excitement and wonder.
We are going down under. Down under. You don't have to have the goofy accent.
It's a spot we've been looking forward to checking off our list for a while now.
We are exploring Sydney, Australia, and all the arts and crafts that it holds and desires. I don't know what that means.
I still don't, but when you think Australia, Sydney is likely the first city that comes to mind. And we're here to take you through some of the top things to do in Sydney in this episode of Window Seat.
All right, here we are, Sydney, Australia, harbourfront. It's killer. This is one of those countries I wanted to come to for a long time, but it's so hard to get to because it takes so long to get here.
Especially if they delay your flight for 2.5 hours because there's a computer issue on the plane.
Yeah, that's always a bummer, but we did eventually make it here, and so our quest for this episode is to find the 5 coolest things to do in Sydney, Australia, when you've only got about 48 hours to do it. And so let's count them down. And number 1 on that list, on anybody's list, has got to be the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be? I mean, if you think Sydney, that is the number 1 top of the list thing, and it's not even close. It's the must-see thing that you have to come, you have to see. And if you don't, you really are missing out, even though it is so cliche to come see.
So let's go inside. So let's check it out.
Yep.
I mean, you can't start anywhere else, right? We booked our tickets online in advance, but due to our flight delay, we missed it. Thankfully, the ticket office was kind enough to move our reservation back a few hours so we could venture through this iconic spot for just about $25 US per person.
All right, so welcome again, everybody, to the Sydney Opera House, and also welcome to the Bennelong Point.
Now, this is truly a masterpiece of modern architecture, built to look like sails or shells. This marvel revolutionized how buildings could be constructed. Architect Jorn Utzon won a design contest in the 1950s with more than 200 entrants. His vision took quite a while to build, 14 years in fact, making many wonder if it was worth it at all.
Now, speaking of the theatre, if you turn around, this wooden structure standing right in front of us, this is our world-renowned concert hall, our largest performing theatre inside the Sydney Opera House.
But after it opened in 1973, it had clearly become the symbol of not just Sydney, but also Australia. Sitting on Bennelong Point in Sydney Harbour, nothing screams Sydney quite like this place.
Here's a portrait of Dame John Sutherland right here. She's a famous Australian opera singer, and she's also the lady who put Australia on the map regarding performing arts and opera. So we named the theatre after her from 2012.
Each shell is covered in tiles to enhance the shell look and houses their own auditorium, each having its own special use for a different type of performance inside.
Every 5 years, every single tile on the roof get manually tapped and checked.
And the acoustics are absolutely incredible. The tour only takes about an hour, so not too time consuming, and then you can enjoy a nearby meal and be on your way.
So there you have it, number 1 on the list when you come to Sydney, get inside that opera house. What were your thoughts, Sean?
I mean, it's very cool to see. If you are into culture and like operas, ballets, musicals or anything like that, that's something you've got to see. It's got to be, a bucket list item for you because it is one of the most unique and well-known places in the world to see some sort of cultural event or musical performance.
The minute you see that building, you know exactly where it is. You know exactly the setting. In fact, we can kind of swing around. We'll show it to you behind us right at this very moment, right across the harbor over there. It truly is one of the most iconic buildings in the world, and to get to go inside of it finally was super cool. So glad we did it. Glad it was number 1 on the list. Now let's get to number 2.
And that is the Rocks.
The Rocks is the birthplace of modern Sydney. It's where European settlers first came to Australia back in the 1780s.
We're in the Rocks. This is like a very old neighborhood in Sydney. It's a lot of, but al fresco dining, some restaurants. It's like if you're looking for like a chill vibe and just to kind of have a nice meal or enjoy a nice drink with the harbor right over there, this is the spot to do it. You can kind of walk around. There's some shops here as well. So it's just kind of like a really nice, kind of local vibe, but it's touristy in a way, but also just, there's good food. And you can just sit on the patio, have a drink, and just hang out with your friends. It's a great place to do it, especially on a nice day like today.
It's a nice vibe, people all walking around, good people watching, good relaxing atmosphere. Love the breeze off the harbor. The Opera House is amazing.
There are a number of fantastic restaurants and old pubs in this neighborhood, and inside the pubs, they do have a British feel to them. It's a little touristy, but worth a visit, especially on the weekends. That's when the Rocks Market takes place, filled with handmade goods, street food, jewelry, anything you want. It's one of those fun local things you can take part in to get a little bit of the vibe of the city, as Sean found out.
That's always one of the cool things about visiting, any big or major city on the weekends. There's usually some sort of art fair or food market. This you kind of got a little bit of both. You got art, you got clothes, you got food and drink. People just sitting out on the lawn, just enjoying themselves. On a nice, beautiful day like this, it's a great way to do it, right in the shadow of the Harbor Bridge.
Great place to enjoy some beautiful weather and your time in Sydney. Next up, the Sydney Harbor Bridge climb. Now, we have a whole video about this experience. If you want to click on the link in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, we'll also put the link in the description below.
I gotta be honest, I'm not really afraid of heights at all, but there is a little bit of nervousness that's sort of creeping in just because of the unknown. I don't really know what to expect, but I'm excited to find out.
This is one of the coolest things possible to do in Sydney, unless you're Sean.
And you're not doing it.
Nope, I'm good with that.
Why not?
Because I am horrible with heights, and this would be my nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
But if you're not agoraphobic, this is incredible. Strap up in your astronaut gear and venture out over the harbor in this very unique way. It's an experience you'll remember the rest of your life, climbing more than 1,300 steps over the iconic bridge, complete with a picture at the summit.
All right, that was seriously cool. It rocked.
Over here on the pylon lookout, I get a great view of the guys doing their thing, and it's nowhere near as scary because I'm not in the open air. So I can deal with this.
This is a bit pricey at around $300 per person, and it does book up fast. So make sure if you want to take part in this adventure, go online and get a reservation ahead of time. And if you want a golden hour climb, those are a little more expensive, and they fill up really fast. The climb takes a few hours from suit up to finish, and if you plan it right, you can knock out these three all very easily.
Kind of makes it handy is that most of the sort of more iconic stuff in Sydney is in a pretty central location.
Yeah, it's right around the harbor, which is also very close to downtown. So you could stay downtown, save some money on a hotel, and then walk here in 10 to 15 minutes, which is what we did. You don't have to stay in one of the fancy hotels with the great views, but don't get me wrong, those are fantastic. But you can do like we did and stay more closer to the central business district and be very close and, still have a lot of scenery that you can go see on your way here.
That's right, we stayed at the QT Sydney in the Central Business District for the first part of our trip. It's a 5-star hotel, but it's actually quite affordable, less than $200 a night. Its location's great, about a 15-minute walk to Sydney Harbor or a 10-minute walk to Darling Harbor, where you can see the Sea Life Aquarium or grab a bite to eat or even take out a kayak for a ride. It's not as busy as Sydney Harbor, so it might be easier to explore without the crowds. Also, if you stay in this area or really anywhere nearby, we recommend you take the train to and from the airport. This was very easy and inexpensive. There are a number of trains around the city, making this a convenient method if you're coming to Sydney. Plus, we always love some good local public transportation when we can get it. Next up, we go high and stay in the Central Business District to the Sydney Eye Tower, the tallest structure in all of Sydney and the second tallest observation tower in the entire Southern Hemisphere. Tickets can be bought online or on arrival. If you want to go to the restaurant, though, that's a separate ticket. You can even do the skywalk for an extra cost as well, but we won't be doing that, especially not Sean.
I'm fine right now. When I get up there, I'll be nervous. Because right now it's fine.
Then it's up to the observation deck at 820 feet up in the sky with 360-degree views of the city. It's a great way to view Sydney, but at first it was a little bit tough for Sean.
I still got close to the edge. My legs got a little wobbly.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna come sit down.
But after a few moments to compose himself, he mustered the courage to check out the gorgeous view of the harbor.
I'm not a heights person. I can't just jump into these things. You gotta ease into it. Dip your toe in the water before diving in.
It's definitely not the highest, most scary tower that exists on planet Earth, but it is the best way to really get a good sense of what Sydney looks like, the layout. You can see the ocean from here. You can see the whole harbor, the Opera House. You can see the Harbor Bridge. So really, if you want a bird's eye view of this beautiful city, this is the way to go. And it's really pretty cheap, like 20 bucks US to get up to the top of this thing. Not too shabby.
You don't need too much time here, so it's an easy in and out if you're in this part of the city. Then you wander the streets, enjoy some shopping, the arcades, the restaurants, and the rooftop bars. There's also a number of parks, the Royal Botanic Gardens, and museums within walking distance of the Central Business District. After a quick stop by St. Mary's Cathedral, the nearly 200-year-old church is a nice spot to take a break near Hyde Park if you're in the area. We hit the Art Gallery of New South Wales. This was not a planned stop on our journey, but we were glad we did it. Gotta get a little culture when you travel, right?
There are several reasons the museum should be a must visit for you. For one, it is absolutely free. You just walk in off the street and start absorbing the art, and there's a lot of it. Gallery after gallery of paintings, some of them dating back 200 or 300 years, all of them gorgeous, and a real glimpse at the art history of this country. I was wowed by the place, and again, anytime you can be in a cool location to do something for free that's culturally enriching, you've struck gold. So hit this museum.
This is one of the flagship art museums in all of Australia and the leading art institution in New South Wales. Established more than 150 years ago, it was a pleasant surprise for us, and we can't emphasize enough, we do love free. And one of the cool things about Sydney is that most of the museums are free, so if you want to explore the city's culture, you can do so without putting a dent in your budget. I know we said top 5, but we've still got more to tell you about here in Sydney. Sorry, this place is super cool. There's much more to share, with the next spot being one of the most iconic locations.
Next up on our list, it might be one of the most obvious ones as well, but it's Bondi Beach. Just outside of the city, it's only a few miles away, 30 minutes from the city center by a car, Uber. But look at it. I mean, they got other beaches. Manly Beach is supposed to be great too, but this is the main beach. It's packed. So I get it if you want to, that's not your thing, but these waves are incredible. Look at these damn waves. You can just see them crashing all over the place. We don't get that most of the beaches in the US. It's not, at least not in this level. It's why people, if you surf, it's where you want to be. And it's beautiful. It's fantastic here.
Now, Bondi Beach is world-renowned for its golden sands, vibrant atmosphere, and of course, surfing. We have never seen waves quite like this before. Now, granted, we're not surfers, but we're here for it.
Yeah, so it's a rare thing to have a major metropolitan city and have a big, beautiful beach right sort of there in town. It's kind of crazy, but here we are right in Sydney, on the edge of town, and here's this gorgeous beach overlooking the Pacific Ocean with massive waves crashing down. Surfing is huge here, but I don't see anybody surfing at the moment because I think the waves might be a little too intense, which is kind of wild. But it's a gorgeous day. It's about 82 degrees on the day that we're visiting, and again, we're in a shoulder season. We're in fall technically, so you just never know what weather you're going to get. But man, we've been blessed. It's been amazing weather here in Sydney, and if you're coming to this town, you got to hit Bondi Beach.
Honestly, when I came to Sydney, I didn't have that high of an expectations. I'm like, it's a city, it's got a beach, and it's got the Opera House. That's about mostly what I knew, and that's mostly what my expectations were. But no, Sydney, I think, has been great. I mean, that's really all we've seen, but at the same time, it's got a great vibe to it. I mean, you got this beach right here, which is great. You know, you don't get that in major metropolitan cities. And then, like, the actual city itself reminds me a lot of Chicago. You got some great food, you got great architecture, and just kind of a chill, laid-back vibe with different kind of weather, obviously.
Even if we're not as in shape as many of the locals who frequent this spot.
I will say this about going to the beach. If you're at all self-conscious about your body, this might not be the place for you, because there's some people take very good care of themselves, and they're not afraid to show it off on the beach. So this is why I'm keeping my shirt on. Because yeah, it's easy to feel inadequate at this beach. There's some people that have really done it right and spent a lot of time in the gym. I'm not one of them, and so enjoy the scenery.
There aren't many hotels in this area, but that's okay. There are lap pools next to the ocean, but the waves were rendering them irrelevant while we were there. The boardwalk is fun, and as you can imagine, it's filled with shops to buy souvenirs, restaurants to grab a drink to cool off, breweries, you name it. This place just feels Australian, if that's such a thing. All right, on to our next spot. We've been to the ocean, but we want to enjoy what comes out of the ocean, so we head to the Sydney Fish Market over in Pyrmont.
Chose this as one of our must-dos in Sydney because it really gives you a sense of the local flavor and the flair. Obviously, this is a port city. It's right on the Pacific, so you know seafood is going to be top of mind, and it's going to be fresh here. So we think that anytime you're in a city like this, a market like this should be right there on your list.
Absolutely.
So that's why we're checking it out.
This is the largest fish market of its kind in the southern hemisphere and third largest in the world, and it's very well maintained.
I always feel like you can get a pretty good sense of how good the fish market is based on how it smells. If you can't smell fish, then it's probably a pretty good fish market. This one's super clean, you can eat off the floor, and that's always the perfect sign of a good fish market. We've been to some dicey ones around the world where the flavor and the smell is a little overwhelming, but this one not the case. This one is pristine, and the food all looks amazing.
Now, part of the reason there's so many great places to eat in Sydney is because you get such fresh food, especially seafood. And that's why we are here at the fish market. This is where it all comes in. It's a port city. So we wanted to see what is really available here, because you can eat so much and you can eat here.
But oh, the food. As you'd expect, it's coming in fresh. Opens from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day, so a great lunch or breakfast spot if you're looking for some fresh seafood.
So fresh. So fresh.
It's been in this part of Sydney for decades, with a new location going up right next door, scheduled to open later in 2025. You can get coffee and pastries, but really, you're here for the fish. There are a number of retailers in the market offering everything from sashimi.
I got 6 pieces of sashimi.
Really, it's nigiri, but also lobster rolls, oysters, to just buying your own seafood. Some folks would eat here all day if they could. Can't beat the freshness you'll get here, along with the fun market vibe.
A couple of notes on this place. They do actually offer tours. If you get here at 6:40 in the morning, they give you a behind-the-scenes tour. You can actually witness the public auction, sort of the hustle and bustle of buyers purchasing the fish. So that's kind of cool. You can do that, but you got to get up early, 6:40 a.m. They also have guided tours. I think it's 7 a.m. Where they show you around, so you get a little behind-the-scenes action here at the fish market, if that's what you're into.
So we were here very early on a Tuesday morning, not too busy then. It's a great time to come because it's not gonna be too crowded. You come on the weekends, it's gonna be slammed. But, it's cool to see it, and the food's amazing, and there's a lot of different options. If you're into seafood, definitely worth the time. There's also, you can get little baked goods or some fruit. They got a fruit market as well, but really cool. Glad we came over here.
Truly a must visit next time you're in Sydney, even if you just want to eat. And next up is visiting the Chippendale neighborhood. It's a more trendy part of town, filled with converted warehouses and vibrant creative scenes. Not quite as hip and trendy as Newtown. It's known for art galleries and cool cafes, as well as what Travel and Leisure called the best coffee shop in the world, Toby's Estate Coffee Roasters. Just don't do like us and make sure they're open before you go.
Sometimes things are going to be closed. And it's just, never would have thought a coffee shop would be closed on the Saturday of an Easter weekend. So it's just a little unfortunate, but we'll have to call an audible and we'll make this work.
The Spice Alley Asian food, hawker-style joints, absolutely worth your dining time. And if you're looking for a place to stay here, we recommend the Old Clare Hotel. It's a converted brewery and pub made into a trendy hotel. It's got a cool vibe, and some of the rooms, like one of ours, was multi-level. Lastly, when in Sydney, try to check out a rugby or Australian rules football match. These are the sports to see when in Australia. Now, the rules are different than anything we're used to, but when we found out there was a match going on during our visit, we jumped at the chance.
I just showed a shot. That guy had blood on his head.
We may have been a little lost watching the Penrith Panthers beat down on the Sydney Roosters.
I think I understood most of it. There was a possession there where I don't know why they gave up the ball at the end. I thought they had a shot, and then they suddenly just got destroyed. But it was fun.
But it was an experience we were happy to take part in.
I mean, it's fun. It's an interesting game. Obviously, I think I was lost most of the time because I don't know the rules. But it's a very physical game, and that was a lot of hitting, which is, that's what you come to see in a rugby match. But we were told this was going to be a really good, close game. But this was a blowout. I mean, we saw a lot of scoring at least, which is fun, and a lot of energy from the crowd around us because we were sitting in the Penrith section. So that was cool. And we had some fun hecklers sitting behind Drew with some great sayings. But otherwise, it was a fun night. I'm glad we did this. It was a different way to do something.
So there you have it from Bondi Beach here in Sydney, Australia. That's it for this episode of Window Seat. What do you think? Did we hit all the big spots? Did we go to all the places you would have gone if you were in this place? What did we miss? Let us know in the comments below. We'd also love it if you liked and shared the video so we can continue the conversation as we travel all over the world, trying to get to every country. We're at around 80 right now, and we're well on our way. Also, if you could hit subscribe, we'd love that too. In the meantime, check out one of these other videos from Window Seat.
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate.